Hi Flosstube, I'm Lori. Welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Thank you so much for all my new subscribers since my last video. It's been a pleasure chatting with you a little bit in your comments. One subscriber actually said she was going back to the beginning to watch me. That's kind of scary. But thank you very much. I'm going to welcome back all my subscribers, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Today is May 18th, Monday. It is my 53rd Flosstube video, and I'm going to get right into it because I know you want to see what's been going on for Mania. And mine's a little different, but I'm going to do some viewer questions and answers first. So the first person asked me about putting his eye on the sparrow in a Q-snap, and I did it. I wasn't going to do it on camera, but I did it, but I'll take it out and on so that you can see more or less how it's been put together. So this is his eye on the sparrow, and basically I fold it up and I put it in a grime guard, and I basically stitch two-handed like this. Sometimes I put it in the Lowry stand. What I found out as far as the Lowry stand, if I have a lot of fabric on this side, it's hard to grasp it. So, but now that I'm working on the left-hand side of the project, there's not much fabric here, so it's easy to put it in there if I need to. Otherwise, I rest it on a table that sits in front of me, and I could do two-handed stitching. So, if I take this off the grime guard, you'll see that I have the fabric folded up once this way and once this way, so that when I take off the grippers, I guess, I do it with the side that has the most fabric first. So it is a big piece, and it does fit in there if you're neat in putting it on there. You can't just scrunch it up and try to get it in there. I always find it easier. It's one of my newer Q-snaps. I find it easier if it's neatly folded, and then you can put it under a grime guard. So now it's out of the Q-snap, and as you can see, as you remember, it's a big piece. And I have not stitched on this since you last seen it. I just wanted to show the viewer on how I get it in my Q-snap. Okay. Oh, let's see. Okay, I want to thank Patricia Simon. She told me that 123 Stitch has the button pack for the Pilgrims, Lizzie Kate's pair of Pilgrims. And I went on, I saw it, and it has a lot of buttons in it, and it was $30. And I don't think I want to put on all those buttons, so I think I'm going to individually order maybe a sunflower and an apple pie, and just do one on each of the pilgrims. So that's what I'm thinking, but I have time before I decide what I'm going to do. I had put out there in my last video what is the definition of a sampler, and a few people made comments, and Patricia Simon, Laura Boutin, and Christy Martin all basically gave me what their definition of a sampler is. And I'm going to read this to you only because people have asked me to share once I find out what a sampler is. And then this morning I watched Brenda and the Cereal Starter, and they gave me their definition of a sampler as well, because in my last video I put it out there to them. So I'm going to give you what they said as well. So firstly, I have a sampler is a decorative piece of needlework, typically having letters or verses on it in various stitches as an example of skill. A sampler is a piece having multiple motifs, one of which could be an alphabet, without forming a particular picture, and usually with a border. And then this morning when I did watch Brenda and Laura, and they said this is what they believe it to be. It's in their Flosstube number 23. They videoed it yesterday, May 17th. I'll put it on the bottom in the notes, which video it is. But in a nutshell, my version of what they said is a piece that a schoolgirl stitched maybe hundreds of years ago that has an alphabet motif and very basic. Oh, it has alphabets, motifs, and very basic. And then there's samplers that could have a scene. Some are pastoral, with or without alphabets, but perhaps a very elaborate border. Designers today could get their inspiration from an original sampler and adapt it to their own design preference. Now, Nicola Parkman uses original samplers, and she tries to do an exact version of what that child did in her sampler. And then they also said Prairie Schooler has samplers. They did a garden sampler and I think a flower sampler. And then current designers of samplers could have alphabets, scenes, motifs, and with or without borders. So it seems to cover a wide range of what a sampler could be. I guess there's no exact thing like this is a sampler and these are the things that it has to have. So that's it in a nutshell. I think maybe Brenda does a better job at explaining it in her video. So please feel free to go watch her. They're awesome, the two of them. Alrighty. Then I put it out there if anybody wanted to share their Mania plans of how they're doing Mania. So these are some of the people that, not the people, but some people have told me what they do. There's Stitchsania, where they work on whips during the week, and then on the weekend they'll have a new start and work on it for the weekend, which I believe Stephanie from Lindy's Stitches put that out there, and a lot of people are following her on that. There's Mania My Way, which is stitch what I want when I want it. Then there's Whip Mania, just working on your whips throughout the whole month. And then there's Monday Mania, where every Monday they start a new project. Some are doing the 20 and 20, the first 20 days of May. They have new starts every day. Oh, some are starting their Mania project. They'll be doing 20 and 20, and they'll start it maybe during the day or in the morning, and then do what they want to stitch in the evening. And then I thought this was cute. Count Twice, Stitch Once. That's Connie and Melina. They put numbers in a bowl, and their husband gets to pull out a number, and a number reflects what project they're going to work on. So it's almost like a wheel. So that was cool. Thank you all for participating and telling me how you're doing Mania. Let's see. Okay, I have my notes here because I don't want to forget anything, and I don't want to stop the video and say, oh, I forgot to say this or forgot to say that, and then in the next video maybe it's not as important. But I got a piece of happy mail. I got a lovely thank you card from Mary Nelson. She is the one that won the Works by ABC Flowers of 1605. Nope, 1650. I had the numbers just in the wrong order. Flowers by 1650, Works by ABC pattern. She wrote a lovely card, and she said she might stitch it twice, once for her and once for her daughter, which I thought was really cool. Then I was contacted on Facebook, and I don't post too much on Facebook, and a lot of times if people ask me to friend them, if I don't know them, I'm hesitant about accepting new friends on Facebook. On Instagram, if I see that you're a stitcher and you ask me to follow me, I will. If there is anybody that is not a stitcher and they just decide they want to follow me, which is usually male, I just block them. Done. Yeah. All they have are pictures of themselves in their Instagram. Did I say email? I meant Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. Anyway, somebody did contact me through Facebook, and she sent me a message. So I was able to open the message without having to accept her. Then when I realized that we have things in common, then I asked her, we became friends on Facebook. But she messaged me because she saw that I was going to start Anniversaries of the Heart, and I was about to get all the patterns and things like that. And she asked me if I wanted number 1. And I said, yes, thank you. That is so kind. And her name is Linda Ackerson. And she sent me number 1, the Snow Garden. When I ordered it from 123 Stitch, they were all out. So I had put my name for them to contact me when they had it in stock. But Linda was so kind and to send me that. So thank you very much, Linda. Much, much appreciated. Then I put in an order with Stitch and Frog because some of the Blackbird patterns that I wanted from 123 Stitch, they were out. And I did put in a message, please let me know when they're in. But one of my friends from my stitching group said, oh, go to Stitch and Frog, they have it in. And I never heard of them before. So I said, okay. So I put in an order, and I realized I put in for the wrong pattern. I already had the pattern. It was the Blackbird Anniversary Series, and I put in for 3 and 7, I believe it was. And then when I went back to my notes, I said, I have 7. Why did I order 7? So I was so upset with myself for doing that. And when I went on a couple of days later, they said that my order was still in process. So I said, well, if it's still in process, maybe I can change it. Maybe I can't. If I can't, I can't. It's my fault. So I sent them an email and I explained the problem. And I said, if you have 12, I'd love to have 12. So he, his name is Marty, answered me back and said, I'm saying it's Marty, but I don't know. It could be a girl's name as well. But they answered me back and they said that my order was in process, so they'll take the 7 out. If they have 12, they'll include it. If they don't, they'll just reimburse me the money. And I thought that was above and beyond customer service, that they took the time to look into that and answer me like that. And I couldn't wait for the package to come to see what I was getting and what I wasn't. So the first thing I ordered was Sweet Land of Liberty by Blackbird Designs. I love all the patterns in here. And I already have my Mania starts like almost to the beginning of July of what I'm going to stitch. So some of these I'm going to then take a break of starting new things and start moving on some of these new things that I'm starting. And then I'm going to start what I'm starting to kit up now. And that's the Blackbird Designs and Anniversaries of the Heart. So what did come in was number 3, which I didn't have, and number 12. He did have it. So I'm thrilled that I was able to at least get something I didn't have. So I just have, I think, 3 left to get. And I believe at least 2 of them are in 123 Stitch now. So now that I have that order, I can go and see what 123 Stitch has and work it out. All right. So the last time we were together, Mania was going to start 2 days from that. So April's 30 days, so 29. On the 29th, I was working on a whip. And it was Geranium by Nora Corbett. And I want to share a picture with you, because the first day I stitch on things 2 days. The first day I took a picture of, of where I got to. This whole bottom of the dress on this side, 4 hours of stitching. And then what happened? Okay, come on. I frogged it. That's all the threads from frogging. Before I picked it up this time, there was an error that I didn't catch the last time. So I frogged all that. And then the next day, I said, okay, we made a mistake. We'll just keep going. So I decided to start on the other side. Let me show you the picture. This is Nora Corbett Geranium. And this is where I started again. So I frogged all this section in here, and now I came down and I added all this in here on the second day from the purple over. And I figured what I was doing was I was stitching this way, stitching down this, and hoping it would match, and it didn't. So that's why I had to frog. And when you frog something like this, it's so hard to tell the difference between the different colors. And then I had made a working copy, and I marked it, and I was totally lost. So I had to bring it back even further. So this way I'm just going to come around this way and make it work that way. So hopefully there's no more issues with that. And I will be ready to put that in my rotation again. Okay, this was it. Stitch Mania. The first one, new start. Family. I figured I'd start small. Lizzie Kate family. And I finished it. Let's see. There. I put a piece of interfacing, it's hard to see close up, and on the piece of felt that I'm going to finish it on. So I just have to sew on the little, I believe it's a little bird. Yeah, a little bird. And yeah. So I'm not going to take the time this month to do any finishes, but the ones that are finished, I will be taking them out of these project bags and getting ready to maybe just put patterns in it and start kitting them up again for when I do decide to start again, new starts. Somebody asked where I got these pouches, and I got them off of Amazon, and they are approximately 15 by 11. And when I originally bought them, they were $9.99 for 10 of 10? Yeah, 10. No. Yeah, maybe 10. $9.99. But I think they've gone up to, the last I thought it was $12.99. So I don't know what they are recently. But somebody asked about them. The next was Jack Frost's. I put the curtain up so that we can get some good lighting from outside. Oops, sorry. Close your eyes, I'll let you know when to look again. There's a camera. Okay, maybe that's better. Balsam Fir from Jack Frost's Tree Farm. And this is the last one that I'll be doing. So eventually I will start to finish them. Probably June, July. I haven't decided, but we have time. So I have all of them done now. The only thing I want to point out is the words balsam fir. It's charted for which I stitched it is charted for blue corn, and the other two weren't. But I did it blue corn, and I figure what I'll do is when I display them, I'll put this one in the center, little pillows hanging from something, and the other two will match, and this one will be different. Okay, the next was Prairie Schooler Alphabet, and I said, there. I said, tune in and see what I'm going to do with it. So we're going to start. See? It's going to be challenging to finish these as little pillows because they're really small. And I stitched this on Ada. I think it's 18 count Ada. C-A. L. Are you getting it? E. Evergreen. Oh, I guess Cardinal, Angel, Lantern. Evergreen. and bear. So I can't hold them all together and show you, but it spells Caleb. And that's what I was shooting for, Caleb's name, my little grandson, who I will get to be able to see this Thursday. So I'm going to make little pillows and maybe like strand it out if I can figure it out how to do it. So I'm so happy that I got those done. That'll be his Christmas ornament this year. And probably in the back of it I'll put a year. Okay, the next was a whip. So we were doing New Start Whip, New Start Whip. Was Christmas at Hollyberry Farm. Oh my goodness. This house is, I said to my friends, I'm going to finish this house and I'm going to move in. This house is like huge. And I stitched and stitched and stitched. So what I stitched this time was from the center window, I did all this and down here. And I'm still not done. I have to do a whole nother section here, and then there's a base here, and a slight walkway with a fence. But I'm telling you, it just seems like to go on and on this house. Anyway, it'll be fun when it's done. I think I'm going to concentrate on the house until it's done, and then I'll start picking up on the border and the other motifs. That's the plan. Okay, new start. So what do you do when you have a new start and you only put in 2 days, but you're so close to a finish? You put it away and pick up the next project. So this is Scarlet House Autumn Alphabet, and this was stitched on, it's 18 count Ada, let's see, I wrote it down for you, Golden Promise. It was dyed by needleworkers. And I really, really love it. All I have basically left is the pumpkin. But nope, 2 days, and it gets put away until the next rotation. And I don't think I'll be able to get to this in June, but I plan on picking it up in July to finish. Okay, the next was a whip. I grabbed 2 things. And that was the Tra-La-La collection on the beach. And this is done on a 28 count white Lugana. I forgot to get, I'll put it against me. Shouldn't go through, but. And basically I did my own color conversion because they were charted in silks, and there you go. And I don't have any collection of silks, and I didn't want to invest in that. So I just saw blue, I looked at the picture, I looked at what I had in Classic Color Works, Gas, Wicks Dye Works, and I just filled it in from there. The next new start was Lizzie Kate, Ho Ho Ho. Actually, I don't know if it's called that. Ho 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 Holiday. Ho 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 Holiday. And here's my little finish on that. Okay, next, that was a new start whip. This is Spring Gathering by Scattered Seed Samplings. And I have a finish on this one. When I look at this, I'm so aggravated because I could have moved it over. But because I started with the rabbit, I want to make sure that I had room for the basket and a margin, so I kind of scooted it over more that way. So I really don't have room to do the second rabbit on this side. So I might flip it upside down and try to put it more closer on this side so that I have a piece left over that I maybe could stitch something else on. So this is my finish. And once I stitch the other one, then I'll decide how I'll finish both of them similarly. And the other one is been gifted to me from Tina for the Love of Stitches. She was so kind to send me a number of patterns. So I'll be starting this one July. I think the soonest I can get it in, because I think June is all occupied already. Okay, new start. Another pattern that Tina sent me, Brave Hearts. I don't know if the camera wants to focus it in. Anyway, I'm doing it on a 28 count Wedgwood Lugana. And that's how far I've gotten. The windows are done. They're just white framed. The insides are not filled. There you go. So, actually, for a Lugana, I mean, it feels a little thicker. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Jubilee or something, because it does feel thicker than the usual Lugana I have. But I got this at Needleworkers Delight. That was another question viewers asked, where I got my fabrics. When I go to the store, I always look at their fabrics, and if I find something in a neutral blue or a color that I think I might be able to use, I'll purchase it, because I don't always find it when I need it. They have their fabrics coming in from, I believe it's Germany, and then if they're dyed fabrics, then they have to dye them and, you know, do everything they do to prep them afterwards. And so sometimes the tables doesn't have every single thing that you're looking for. They'll have fabric there, but if it's not what I want, to me, it's like not having fabric. But they do. They have fabric there. And I don't stitch on high counts, so I'm limited to a certain section that I'm willing to purchase from. So, but I mean, for somebody like most of you that stitch on higher count fabrics, they have a plethora of fabrics there. Okay, this one, it's a whip, and I took this out especially for Kim. Kim saw me do this, and she was motivated to buy it and start it, and that's the Buckleberry Sampler from Rosewood Manor. And I think I got quite a bit accomplished. Now this is something that you change colors quite often, but I put myself in the mindset that I can do this. Just take your time and you can do it. And I did. So I got a little bit accomplished. I finished the D, which was missing on the first row. Then I stitched from this motif over. The E was completed and this was started. So I stitched from, I think this whole motif was maybe half. From here all the way across, and I got the E, F, G, H, and I done. This was already done. So the next time I pick it up, there's a flower here, and then I'll continue across. So that's the Buckleberry Sampler by Rosewood Manor. So I was very happy with the progress that I made on that. And then I think about all the whips that I haven't touched in a number of months too. Okay, what is this one? I must have taken something out of order, because this is another whip. But this is Puntini Puntini Welcome Summer. And this was the one the last one I worked on, and that was last night that I put in some stitches. Let's see. Now, for me it's showing washed out. I'm hoping it's not too washed out for you, but yesterday, this rotation, I put in the bird here, the seagull. I finished the cabana. Now I just have to outline the life preserved. I did all the sand here, all the bottom sand. I started the fence, and I went further on the top border. So basically I have the fence to do, and the tree, another bird, and then there's buttons that I have. There's a birdhouse here and welcome summer here, or something like that. So that's where I am on this one. This is one of my Stitch 10 that I would like to see finished this year. Okay, I think that's it. That's everything that I've stitched on. I'm not going to show you what I will be stitching on because I showed you all the new starts in my last video. So you're going to be surprised of my whips and my new starts. Today's a new start. It's already in the other room, ready to go downstairs and to be started sometime this afternoon. And then I've been also, okay, for my birthday and my Mother's Day, my boys sent me gifts in the mail this year. And one was a gift card to 1-2-3 Stitch, and then they did things separately. And the things that they did separately were themed the same. They were quilting fabrics. Now, I haven't really quilted since Rebecca was pregnant with Caleb, and I did a bunch of baby quilts for that. So I have been itching to quilt, and I think my problem, because I'm not good at putting things together. I'm a copier, and when I buy fabric and I bring it home, if I don't buy coordinating fabric, sometimes I just buy it because I like it, and then I have trouble, what am I going to do with it? So with that said, so it was hard for me to quilt during these quarantine times because I didn't have coordinating fabrics. And I did go online and I looked at some stuff, but I don't know, I just didn't push the button. So Rebecca and Michael sent me a gift packet that included pattern, but the pattern had nothing to do with the fabric that was in this gift bag. And basically it was half yards of 4 different fabrics. So I was trying to figure out what to do with it, and I took out a sketchbook and I started doing something to see what I can possibly come up with. So I'll show that all, the quilt top, in my next video. And so that's in the process. Now the thing is, I don't have enough to put a border around it, and I don't have the style of fabric that would go nice with, like, I don't think I should put a batik with these florals. So I'm going to check out what my friend Alva has in stock and see if she has anything I can pull from. Otherwise I'll just have to wait till I can get into Hobby Lobby or Joann's or something. There's no rush, but I'll show you where I've gotten with putting that together. And the other packet of quilt fabrics were these fabrics. Some of them look like they'd be great for finishing, and some look like maybe I can do some kind of table runner. So I haven't decided. This all came together in like reds and ecru's. So that was exciting, that they thought more of me as a quilter than a cross stitcher. And a little tin of buttons, which I thought was awesome. And it also came with some stick pins, but with hearts on them. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you come back again and see my progress in Stitch Mania. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, happy stitching. Bye guys.